We're here in Berlin at the Blockshow Europe, and actually we're here with one of the moderators or actually the moderator in the media room, I must say. Nice to meet you. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, definitely. My name is William Skannerup. I'm one of three co-founders of VeridenKey, decentralized digital identity, working directly with governments to create a cross-border digital identity. But I also here at the Blockshow did over, nearly 30, 40, maybe 50 interviews with top guest speakers and exhibitors here at the show.
Okay. And if you want to make maybe like a top three of people that you've interviewed, or is that a quite difficult question? Or maybe just one that pops up your mind that had a great story?
So I think one of them was definitely Jimmy Wales from Wikipedia, talking about disinformation. Another one was Bobby Lee from BTCC. We spoke a little bit about the future of blockchain, the future of the community. But generally, like, there's so many great people and new people I've met that, we'd only seen each other before kind of on LinkedIn or on social media, and actually to meet them in person and share so many different stories, views. It's for me, it's been 48 hours of very tiring work, but 48 hours of extreme, fantastic learnings and experiences being shared.
Actually, some really strong concepts going on, and people are really communicating about it. So, is there like a general message or a general learning you get out of this conference?
I'd say there's a few, just to summarize, that we have to bond together as a community. We can't go down the regular thing as like Silicon Valley did, or the enterprise IT or the IT tech community does, which is fighting with each other, always looking over each other's shoulder, kind of like, what are you doing next? Like, as a community, we need to share, we need to be open. This is, by the way, decentralized. Like, we work in with decentralized tech about decentralizing information. We should be doing the same thing. That's the origins, yes, open source. Another thing, is how fast the community has grown. Over 18 months, it's gone from a little movement with the first 3 or 4 companies building, and now today, you got conferences around the world, and Blockshow being one of the greatest, attracting some of the highest level of influencers, speakers, but just generally also as Stuart Rogers from VentureBeat said very beautifully, that actually the attendees is what impressed him of this conference. It is everyone's knowledge, everyone's commitment to this field, everyone's commitment to change and build something together. That is what has impressed me too, and impressed a lot of others I've spoken to.
And we're still in the first inning, maybe, of the development of this industry,
Absolutely. We're not even day one. This is still day 0. The user adoption curve of early starters and early adopters and kind of moves forward. We haven't even started that line yet. We got a long way to go, but in the short way we've gone, we have onboarded some of the most, fantastic speakers from a traditional standpoint of view. Not just here at Blockshow, but also at New York Blockchain Week, at other conferences like in London. You begin to see a lot of people who have traditional kind of influence in banking or in government or just in non-government organizations too, actually joining the crypto movement and saying, you know what, there is something here, and this is here to stay. So a long way still to go, but we're making a lot of progress.
So actually, people are building bridges between the old and the new world?
Absolutely. So that is, I think that's one of the most contentious arguments that's been out of everyone I've spoken to. Everyone kind of agrees on the community aspect, on how fantastic we've made, progress over the last 18 months. Everyone agrees that we're going to be open and share with each other. Everyone kind of also agrees on ICOs, the problems of scams, and ICO experts turning into a real problem right now. But one thing that seemed to be a little bit a disagreement in is that should we be fighting the traditional financial world? Should we be working with them? Or should we be working to create a new one together? Which one? Would there be 2? A traditional, a crypto, or one? Or just let's take them out? It seems that everyone has a little bit different views on it. Everyone has a little different opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next few months.
Few questions. I mean, what's your take on that? I mean, do we have to cooperate with this traditional?
Um, I mean, you really put me on the spot there. Congratulations. Thanks. Thank you. I think for now. So I came from a traditional kind of corporate tech, and initially I started the view that no, why should we try and take down the existing financial model? This is insane. Banks have been around for hundreds of years. That's how we've done finances. That's how we've done business for hundreds of years. The reason it still exists today because it works. That's how it works. But then over the last couple of months, now I've been in the space for about a year and a half, 2 years. I've changed my view a little bit. Just given the bank's reluctancies to try and work with us, like we have really tried hard to work with them. We have tried to go, the regulators are working with us, the governments are working with us, traditional businesses are working with us. Everyone are, except the banks. The banks are still pushing back.
In the UK or?
Just generally anywhere. Opening up bank accounts, exchanging cryptocurrencies. They're really trying to push back. I've been in some high-level discussions with certain governments where banks were present, and they were really pushing back. So now my view is a little bit in the middle. I'm not sure anymore.
Okay. Just a few words about your company. What are the milestones for this year? I mean, maybe you can do a roundup of that.
Yeah, so milestones coming up. VeridenKey, we're working in conversation with 9 governments with a pilot program research that is be concluded by September, involving 4 European countries, with another 1 European, Middle Eastern, and an Asian country potentially wanting to join that pilot program. So our token cell is going to be announced later this year. And we're working together with a number 1 finance law firm, and potentially also, as of tomorrow, hopefully be onboarded into one of the 4 accountancy firms as one of the first crypto companies on the tax and auditing side.
One of the big 4?
One of the big 4. So we're
making a guess. Can I make a guess?
We can't not until everything has been announced. But yeah, so keep an eye. We have to be careful what we say because we are working with governments. It's a very sensitive, contentious topic. Blockchain, cryptocurrency, and government, all 3 in one. But yeah, end of the year, just before our token cell being announced, all the details will be released.
All right. So just very short, is it comparable to Civic? I mean, of course, that's a very known digital concept, but.
So what we see in the digital identity space, there are companies like Civic, Sovereign, Uport, and there are several identity companies out there. What we're doing different is VeridenKey has been built from the base to work with government. We're a non-for-profit company. We have a specific governance structure that allows non-executive board members to vote on how the company operates. Everything that we do has been consulted by government organizations. And in our IT architecture, it is still the government that verifies directly the details and is the one that issues the identity directly. So it is not a platform where they become a partner of it. They are definitely the keystone to make sure that the entire platform works. So that is something that the governments have been very appreciative about. That is why we've been able to extend the conversation quite rapidly to several governments because they're all very keen to see, after Estonia doing their blockchain ID and UAE doing Emirates ID that will be running on blockchain soon, all of the rest of the governments are keen to follow the same steps.
And one of these governments is also the Dutch government, is it true?
Correct, yes.
And you're also in talks with Startup Delta to actually integrate your technology in the Dutch infrastructure.
So Startup Delta, that is a very early conversation, but we are in conversation with the Ministry of Interior of Holland. We've spoken to Raymond Knops, the Minister of Interior of BCK. We've been very closely connected with DigiDay, working directly actually with their team and their developers on the legal side, regulatory side, but also the technical side, and how would we actually implement VeridenKey, and how would we implement on a European-wide basis. So yeah, our connections with Holland and the Netherlands are very, very deep.
And you even think of moving to the Netherlands?
Again, that is a detail that is yet to be confirmed, but most likely.
Fuck the Brexit.
Well,
You don't have to comment.
I gotta be diplomatic here, so yes, we're moving to Amsterdam for other reasons.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
the best.
Thank you very much.